Hey, have you ever been just sitting there waiting for a bus or plane or a taxi, Uber or Lyft or something, and you're wanting to get to somewhere, but it hasn't shown up yet. That ride hasn't shown up yet. That vessel hasn't shown up yet. And you grow more impatient, more frustrated, looking at your watch every 2 seconds, right? And internally things are starting to burn and churn and all that impatientness comes up. Well, we're going to be talking about a little bit about that today on Electrical Theology, Esoteric Life Coaching. I am your host, Charles. Let's get started. Alright guys, we're talking about the impatience or the moments where in the middle of you leaving one place, arriving, and then waiting for that next ride to come or that next thing to come, but it doesn't come, at least according to the schedule you thought it should be coming. And so for a lot of us, it may be like a friend says, hey, I'm going to send you money and you got to pay this bill, or your electricity gets cut off or something, and then of course there's issues with the transfer of that money via digital systems, right? And so that frustration, that fear, all those emotions come at you. And so what this is this is what's happening right now in the world. We're in the transition, right? We've sort of are ending one way of thinking, seeing, perceiving, believing, and we're leaving that behind, but at the same time, the other door is starting to open up to the new evolution, the new revolution, right? The new cosmic energy, the frequency, right? A new chapter in Earth life, right? And we, you, I, we're all in the midst of this waiting period, right? We can even anticipate this as a woman ready to give birth, right? And that baby's coming. We know the due date. They're at the hospital, right? The baby's ready to come, right? But then it decides to take another 12 hours, right? And you just want this thing to be over with already. And so right now we all want to be in the next chapter, but it's not here yet. And so we were growing more and more impatient, right? Those signs themselves are that it is about to birth. But we're still disconnected. We're not fully connected yet. Now this could be seen as a negative, but for me it's more of we need to make sure that all the right pieces are in place before the next wave of electricity opens up. A lot of times when I deal with people who are crossing over in their families, a lot of times their families, with a person ready to cross over, some want their family there and some don't. It depends on the family dynamics. If the family dynamics is not good, they normally don't want them in the room. Because when they cross over, we'll just say the portal is opening up, and then all that energy, right, coming in from the other side is a higher frequency, and it will only amplify what that person in the room is feeling. So that's why a lot of times when someone sits by a bedside all the time and they've been there hours and hours and hours, and then they're finally tired, they want to go up and get a cup of coffee, they come back and the person's died. Why? Because the person dying knows that the energy is going to be more powerful, right? And they can handle it because it's their time. But the person whose time it's not, right? It's not their timing. And that energy is only going to disrupt or distort or disconnect them even further, right? And so that's what's happening right now. We need to make sure that when this next wave of energy, right, we've only gotten little hints of it, but when the big wave, the big universal wave comes in, that's what we're feeling. We're feeling the undertone. We know this wave's about to hit. We can't see it. We can feel it. But we just have to sit there and wait. And it's causing so many people I know frustrations, right, impatience, and because what they're doing is wallowing in their old stuff because they don't know about the new stuff. And that's where I'm coming in. I come in and with each individual person and help them navigate, right, the feelings, the emotions, understanding from a new perspective, right? I use the example when you had your first job, you know, what was the amount of money you made, right? And then you think back 20, 30, 40 years ago, you're like, oh, I made this much. right? But now, 50, 60 years later, wherever you are in your age, is that would you go back to making that same amount, right? No, a normal person in an economic system of today would not go back to making $3.35 an hour or whatever that is, or whatever the minimum wage is. Well, that's spirituality. You don't want to go back to minimum wage spirituality. You want to get up to maximum spirituality, right? You want a pay raise. That's what's happening. You're getting a pay raise. Everyone's getting a pay raise, electrically speaking. So we need to just make sure that we're using this downtime instead of being impatient. That's what you need to work on. That's why you're feeling whatever you're feeling during this transition. That's what you need to work on. That's why you're being faced with it right now. It's because you're being forced with that. Because otherwise, it's just going to implode. Right? Your life will implode. You will hit another rock bottom. Below that rock is another sediment of rocks. And then there's volcanoes, and there's more, right? That the abyss doesn't stop. And so whatever's happening, I'm here to help, right? So tune into these videos each and every day, and I'll help you navigate the simulation, right? Getting to the next wave, opening up for the next wave, what to expect, or what not to expect. Because the old and the new ways of seeing, perceiving, thinking, feeling are all different. Those two are at a crossroads right now. So you're getting a mixed bag of emotions with old ideas, old thoughts, old patterns, and then you get the new thoughts, new patterns, right? Our dreams are becoming crazy. We don't even know. It's like we can't even get out of that nightmare. We know it's a dream, but we just can't get out of it. Right? And then the idea of getting out of it is that we're going to have to keep forging forward, right? We're going to have to keep the, what's the word? We just have to keep pushing forward, right? Because there is no back. And in essence, there's no forward, it's just now. And that's what it's trying to get you to understand, is that we're just always in the now, the unfolding moment, the beatific evolution. Right? And so whatever the feeling you're feeling through these days, this last year, the last few years, whatever that main feeling is the one that you're being asked to work on and be done with. Alright guys? That's about all I got for you today, because there is a new thought, there is a new wave of energy coming in. That's why you're feeling what you're feeling, right? And why things aren't moving, but they are moving, is because that's what you're having to work on. Whatever that is for each and every one of you. So I'm here for you. If you need me, leave a comment. Tell me how I can help. There's contact information in there if you want a personal session. And I'm here for you, right? Peace and love, guys. See you tomorrow.